We are here live from Vacaville, California, as your Sacramento Kings lose another gut-wrenching game to the Washington Wizards. As you may see in the box score, the Sacramento Kings lose 123 to 111, a 12-point defeat to the visiting Washington Wizards. Again, this is another gut-wrenching defeat by a team that you thought from the trade deadline on was going to make moves, as now they have went 2-8 since acquiring the likes of Terrence Davis, DeLon Wright, Mo Harkless, as well as Silva, the power forward center combo, and inserting Tyrese Halliburton in the starting lineup with Marvin Bagley. This is a 20 to 30 minute segment we're going to have for just an overall time to decompress. And the phone number, if you guys want to call in, we'll have open phone lines, 707-341-6820. It's just, it's a hard time. We watch the game, and it's more or less us beating our head into the wall over and over and over again. You watch from quarter one to the end of the first half. Giving up 70 points. They were down 10, but again, it's just the same thing over and over again. They held the Wizards at 53. Good second half defensively to a certain extent, but again, you look at Russell Westbrook just having his way with the Kings in any which way. Bradley Beal, again, dropping 30 plus. I think he might have even finished with 30 even, but nonetheless, it's just always a consistent issue. The Kings just don't have that dog mentality, but they just don't even have that killer instinct that we've lacked for years. And like, as you see, I had the background here. This is the box and the compilation and just the overall manifestation of all these unwarranted, unlikely, but most importantly, unequivocally incompetent losses to all these bad teams over the years. And it's just a representation of us as fans, from a diehard Kings fans, that is cannot simply fathom how bad this Kings team has just become over the years. But most importantly, that's very prevalent now, and is more than concerning, is when they made these moves at the deadline to try to put themselves in a position to make that 10 seed, to make the playoffs, or at least make the play-in tournament. It makes it so much more frustrating, to say the least. It makes it just so uninspiring as a Kings fan. It's maniacal that you think the Kings are, in a position to make the playoffs with a 10-team Western Conference opportunity into the tournament, and they consistently make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And you look, and you just look at the game in the totality. It's just, De'Aaron Fox is, I'm not going to say a one-man wrecking crew, but you look at his box score from night in and night out. He's averaging 25 points a game. The first Sacramento King to do that since De'Aaron Fox entered the league, because the last King to do that would be DeMarcus Cousins, who was on the roster before, obviously, De'Aaron Fox was drafted by the Sacramento Kings in 2017. So the last King to do that, obviously, before De'Aaron Fox, was DeMarcus Cousins, another King that was a superstar player, an all-star player that, never got us to the promised land, obviously, never got us over the hump to make the playoffs. But you look, like I said, he had tonight 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists in 40 minutes. Another marvelous performance. But in the day, his, shooting guard, another guard mate, 19 points in 36 minutes for Buddy Hield, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. But it's just not enough. Harrison Barnes, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 40 minutes played. He had a good outing. Mo Harkless, 20 minutes, 2 points, 2 assists, no rebounds. That's just not going to get it done. Like, I don't know how else to say it. You look at the box score, and like I said, De'Aaron Fox, the first Sacramento King player to average for the Kings 25 points or more since DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins hasn't played for the Kings in 5 years. It's just not room for any growth in the organization. And I might sound like I'm rambling, because, at the end of the day, we see Rashawn Holmes not play. Marvin Bagley's out with a broken hand. Damian Jones plays 16 minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds, no assists. Tyrese Halliburton, 29 minutes, 8 points, 2 assists, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. But again, he played 29 minutes and he only had 8 points. Like, that's just not going to get it done. And when I have fans that throw the notion, oh, Bradley Beal isn't the answer for a star you want to acquire, Javier, for the Kings. Bradley Beal had 31 points in 36 minutes with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. I mean, I don't see how anybody can debate that. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. Again, this is the same woes we've had the last 8 games. I mean, they've went 2-8 since acquiring those players. You thought that, they were going to come to some, I wouldn't say manifestation or, some major impasse to where they had a major player from that trade deadline make that initial push to have a majority swing, per se, to push them into the top 10 and have some this overall multiplication of wins consistently in the second half of the season to make the Sacramento Kings a playoff team and muster enough wins to finally make the playoffs and put an end to this drought, because at the end of the day, it's a must, especially for the Kings, for this franchise. But as Sacramento natives can tell you, the Kings are one of the biggest low points in the city currently because of all the money put into Doco and the Golden One Center. You just look at it as if, they put out this brand new arena downtown Sacramento at the Golden One Center, and they're going to open up the arena for fans to be able to go and watch the game. And, you can go purchase yourself a ticket and you can do as you please on the 20th of April. And do you want to watch this product? I mean, they're going to break the record for the worst defensive team of all time in NBA history with their overall defensive rating. And I'm more than certain with their overall defensive points allowed in this 2020-2021 season for this consistent lack of physicality, lack of defensive awareness, but most importantly, just this schematic play design on the defensive end they put with their defensive concepts night in and night out of what they do, but most importantly, what they don't do. And it's sad because, again, you look at the team, Luke Walton isn't a bad coach. I just don't think he's a head coach on a good team for a team that's trying to get into the playoffs for, supposed great upstart, as they'd say, up-and-coming contender, just a playoff contender at that. I just don't think he has that in him. And maybe this ain't the right fit for him. This isn't the place for him at this time. But in the day, you put the piece together. Dave Yeager has his team at the highest point he ever been in 13 years, and they fired him. And now the Kings are just trembling. And it's consistent, not just this year, but last season too. And you want to think, as a Kings fan, what do you want to see next? Calling again, the phone number 707-341-6820. Love to hear from you here on the Cowbell Kingdom post-game show, the reaction to the Sacramento Kings losing to the Washington Wizards 123-111. Again, the phone number 707-341-6820. I just kind of am at a loss, I'm at a loss, and it's a lot to muster because you look at things from a macro level, and you just hope from previous stars in this league, De'Aaron Fox doesn't get upset and more than frustrated to the point where he doesn't want to make his way to return. Maybe not this coming season, but the season after that, or even in his third year of his extension. And it's just not for the fact of him wanting to be in Sacramento, but it's just there's no true direction. I mean, where are the Kings at right now, direction-wise? Yeah, we had 2 good, sequences of multiple games. The sequence of games we had the week prior to the Super Bowl that ended on Super Bowl Sunday when they had that last one against the Clippers, and then that stretch right before the trade deadline, and then we had the trade deadline win, and then the 2 games after the trade deadline we had 2 consecutive victories. But after that, I mean, granted, well, I won't say 2 consecutive victories, rather, my bad. At this particular time, they didn't have 2 consecutive victories, but they went 2-8 since the trade deadline. But still, they had a lot of good quarters played after the trade deadline in the first, I'd say, 3 to 4 games, maybe even 5. But even so, that was half of this last 10-game stretch where they went 2-8. And you look at things in the totality, again, like I've said, the Kings are just at a point where internally, I don't know how they can find themselves in a situation where you look at the Kings going forward as a team that is going to be a destined place for a free agent that want to play and put his career in Sacramento for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, yeah, we could sign a player for a 1-year deal, but I'm talking about somebody who's going to put some significant impact and some structure in the key overall makeup of the roster for the next season plus, because next 2, 3, 4, 5 season plus with De'Aaron, beginning that first year of extension next year to put the Kings in position to make the playoffs. I don't see it. I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. They might not draft, probably till 11. I'd say probably between 11 and 17 they'll be 2021 NBA draft. But again, it's just, it's hard to watch. And I look at things, obviously from the macro level. We look at the micro. It's just the same mistakes that we go over every night in, night out. They make the same consistent errors, same mistakes, consistent lack of defensive rotation. They're not making any interior presence felt defensively in the paint. They're late on rotations. They're late on switches. They don't really play with any sort of just aggressive notion when they're trying to have any defensive action. I'm not saying the effort's not there, but in the day, basketball is a bottom line business, because you look at the Kings, they're 22-33, and it's just not going to get it done. Like, period. It's not going to get it done. Like, with the roster they have assembled, I just don't see the Kings a 22-33 win team. And I don't know what you can really do, because I see the roster and you look at things. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to trade Marvin Bagley, like Leo said, for a second-round pick? I mean, I'm not going to do that. But again, you got to find money to re-sign Rashawn. But again, the nucleus of Rashawn, Rashawn Holmes, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, outside of De'Aaron Fox, those three players, are you comfortable with those three moving forward? And if you're not, tell me a move that would make us better, but tell me why it would happen and tell me how it would happen. Because everybody wants to trade Buddy Hield. Everybody wants to trade, Harrison Barnes. And I don't know about Rashawn Holmes, but we want to say everybody wants to trade Rashawn or Harrison Barnes. But we've had our fair share of people not want to keep him. But tell me why, to who, and for what, and what's the reasoning behind it? Because there's something missing. There's something missing. I told Kings fans after the last loss on our last show that I think the Kings should consider calling the Washington Wizards, the team we just watched, beat the Kings tonight on this treacherous Wednesday. Offer them Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and 3 first-round picks for Bradley Beal and Bertans. I even throw in Bagley, just to say, with the roster of De'Aaron Fox, Bradley Beal, Harrison Barnes, Bertans, Rashawn Holmes, and your bench would then be DeLon Wright, Terrence Davis, Mo Harkless, Metu, and then you could either pair Jones, Whiteside, or Silva as your backup center and make that your final piece on your bench for your 10-deep lineup for your starting 5 for the starters, and then your 5 reserves going forward for the 2021-2022 season. But again, I'm trying to figure out anything and everything to make the Kings a playoff contender, to put them in a position to have some security to actually make the top 8. Even at the worst, they could even make the top 10 and put themselves in the tournament with the top 10 final overall standing that's going to be lodged. This will be coming next year, April or so. But again, or May rather, depending on when they start the season. I'm pretty sure they're going to get back to how they were previous to this season. But again, you look at everything in the totality, like I said, and you just kind of just shake your head. But, we've been doing that. This is not in the new 15 years. You look at things, and I mean, granted, he's getting paid $196 million, and you see De'Aaron. I'm not going to sit there and say I feel bad for what he's making, but I do feel bad for him as a basketball player. For somebody who is as talented as him to just have no, I won't say hope, but it's just, I know he looks at things, he's just more than frustrated. I mean, he gives everything he has out there. I mean, he's averaging 25 points a game, the first King since DeMarcus Cousins to average 25 points a game for the Sacramento Kings, and Cousins has played for the team in 5 years. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. I'm venting, but again, I'm just, I'm trying to keep my wit about me, because obviously, this is a show that we really want to just be proactive towards having consistent, productive Sacramento Kings conversation and discussion, but it's getting hard, man. I mean, they're at 8 straight now. Um, yeah, and actually, now that I recall, if it is 8 straight, they did win their first 2 games after the All-Star break, so I was correct the first time. I'm just, I wouldn't say I'm overthinking, but I'm just, very flushed in my thoughts because this is just a real difficult time to watch Kings basketball. I mean, any Kings fans out there that's not frustrated, and even the tankers out there, that want to tank and all that. Okay, they tank, they lose more. De'Aaron gets more frustrated. Loss of equity and belief of this team. Teams don't want to have anything to do with a team that's going to have a trade proposition, because they know at the end of the day that they're more desperate than the team that they're trying to make a deal with, because that's a team that's in flux. So if you have a team like the Kings, so let's say they finish at 25 wins, you think that the Wizards are going to take a deal knowing the Kings are trying to get out of one per se and try to flip the pendulum in the Western Conference, at least in the Pacific Division? They're like, man, you guys need this more than us. If you guys want, Bradley Beal offers De'Aaron Fox straight up for Bradley Beal, and that just defeats the purpose. And the point of what I'm saying is not even just with trades. Free agents aren't going to look at Sacramento and say, hey, that's a prime and destined location of where I want to play. They're not looking at Sacramento if they're going to be finishing with 25 wins. I mean, we have how many games left? We're at 33, 22. They're at 55 games left. They have 17 games left. I mean, just think. Just think. The Kings are going to have to finish right now. They would have to finish 14-3 just to finish 500. That if they did that, I would offer Lou Walton like a 5-year extension. Granted, that sounds probably more than irrational, but again, I just don't see it. I was hoping we're going to get to 30 wins. Are we going to get to 30 wins? Are we going to get what? If we have 17 games left, we're going to go 8-9? I mean, man, I don't know. I don't know. 8 wins? That might be a stretch too. We had 31 last year, I believe. We 31-41, I believe, after the bubble, because we went 3-5 in the bubble. That makes sense because we were 28-36 prior to the bubble and went 3-5. But man, again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. If you guys want to call in, again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. I'm going to be on air for about another 5 minutes. Just, Benson's just overall, look at the Kings. Like I said, I went over the box score. Russell Westbrook, 36 minutes, 25 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists. How is a 6'3" guard getting rebounds over, Damian Jones? Granted, he didn't play a lot of minutes. Mo Harkless, Harrison Barnes. Who else played? Hassan White, he had an okay game in the paint. Metu, 1 rebound. 1 rebound. This is not going to get it done. There's no other which way to say it. DeLon Wright, didn't do anything offensively tonight. Didn't contribute. He had no points. 1 assist. No rebounds. It's a head scratcher, man. And Terrence Davis had a great night. 12 points. Granted, he didn't have a lot in the rebound department, but he played well, scoring punch out the bench. Like I said, put in perspective again, Halliburton. Everyone was Javier, don't want to put Halliburton in any deal. He's a great player with great rookie with some great potential. But again, you look at him right now, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists in 29 minutes. Beal played 36 minutes and had 31 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And he's averaging 30 a game. I don't see how him and Buddy and even Marvin, for him and Bertans, they guarantee to give up the picks. But if you guys are playing for picks, then me and you, we just ain't cut the same. Like Draymond says, me and you, we ain't cut from the same cloth. And that's something that I'm never gonna be at any notion in life in agreement with, because at the end of the day, I play to win, but I wake up to win every day. And if you're playing for picks, essentially wanting to lose games to get a better draft selection when the draft comes about in July or so, then you're hoping for things that you have no control over. When you have a proven commodity in the NBA, there's something rather you'd want to control with not just something that's proven, but something that's being displayed in previous contests in NBA games that has shown it works, that can win basketball games. And granted, I'm not saying that the Washington Wizards are a team at this time that win night in, night out, but Bradley Beal can contribute to this team in Sacramento in more ways than one for the Kings because of what he does offensively. And granted, our defensive rating isn't something that we can do per se with the Kings at this time, because obviously we have some issues with our defensive stall, consistent stalwarts that are supposed to be put in place with Harrison, Rashawn, and Tyrese. But if you ask me, I just think at the end of the day, you guys look at, the Kings, and there's hope being presented through the draft, and I just don't see it. And sorry, I thought somebody had called on the number, but I don't know what that was. It was. Oh, I think I have a phone call. Let me see. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let's see. We have a phone call. Let's see.
Did not complete your call.
Oh. Well, if you called, you can call back. I don't know why I didn't get an alert. I'm sorry about that. If you guys want to call back, you guys can. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. I don't know why I didn't get a notification. Yeah, if you want to call back, or I got a missed call. That's what I thought I was looking at. I actually did, but I don't know why it didn't ring. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. We're going to be on air for about another 5 minutes or so. Yeah, I'm just kind of up in arms as Kings fan, and it's wearing on me. It is. It's wearing on me, and I hope going forward we can have another 8-9 game win streak or some of that ilk, because you remember we had before the Super Bowl, I think it was 8 out of 9 or something of that, so maybe 7-9, but I think it was 7-8, and they lost to the Sixers that Friday or so. But again, hey, I'm not counting on it, but I hope for it. But as a Kings fan, it's not looking good. I look out there on the basketball court, the Golden One Center, and I don't see anything good coming about right now. And, I just hope you as Kings fans can see that this team has some flaws, but to tank or to play for the pick, I just don't feel like that's the good and most competent decision, because going ahead losing games and putting that in De'Aaron's head, I mean, how could you have De'Aaron feel good about this organization going forward if they're going to consistently try to lose, hypothetically, going that route? Going that route would really ensure, I feel like, his displeasure with this franchise and have everybody up in arms when he asks for a trade. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I didn't say that's before. I'm just saying, if they were to go and just go full tank mode, maybe not just this season, but next year, you think De'Aaron's going to be like, yeah, I want to be part of this organization? I don't see it. But again, that's just my opinion. It's all subjectivity. But I feel like proven in prior years and prior organizations, teams that tank have more than more than just no other way to say it, budding stars that just do not have a like for the organization because of the lack of dedication to win, because this is a bottom line business. They want to win. Stars want to win the NBA. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. We're going to go for about another 2.5 minutes or so. Give everybody some time to call. Tonight, Leo had some family obligations, and I think Ty had school, and E-Man, I think, had an injury playing ball, basketball or something of that nature. But, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow on the back-to-back. They play Phoenix, and I'm just being optimistic by saying I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to lose. I don't know if it'll be a close game or not, but, I mean, you look at the Phoenix Suns, they're playing great basketball, and that's a perfect example of a team that went and gave up draft capital, gave up a young asset or so, whatever you want to call the player that they sent to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Chris Paul, a proven commodity, a proven player in this league. I'm not saying Bradley Beal's in the same wavelength as Chris Paul, but he's definitely an all-star that can really help this team. With Chris Paul, with Booker, Bridges, they also have number 99 they got from Miami, Crowder, and then Ayton. I mean, they got a good team. I mean, they got Williams coaching, coach that they should have had interviewed in Sacramento. He should have had that chance when they had Jaeger fired, and Vlade just didn't even look his way, overlooked that entirely, and just hired Luke Walton after that interview, that first and only interview, and I think he regrets that still to this day. I think Monty Williams is a great coach in his league, and had his opportunity been presented in Sacramento, I think we'd be in a better spot. That's just, again, my opinion. I think that DiVincenzo deal that got nixed has really, affected us. I don't say we'd be a 31 team, but I think we'd be close to 27 and maybe 27 and 27 at 500 right now, maybe 25 and 28. Or 26 and 28 rather, 27, 27, 25 and 29, but not 22 and 33. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. But actually, they had 27 wins. It'd be a 27 and 28. I would see them at probably about 27, 28 or 26 and 29 right now. But again, I wouldn't see them at 22 and 33. I don't see that. Not with DiVincenzo. So I give McNair props on trying to push for that transaction to happen in the summer that got nixed by the league because of tampering or whatever. But again, you look at things, and I'm a little erratic with just my overall thought process, because I'm just it's very back and forth. This team has gave you emotional roller coaster as a fan, and from the good start 3-1 to then the valley of just the next 10, 15 games, and they went on that winning streak, and then back down, and then back up, and now we're right back down. And I'm just wondering, is this going to end in 2 games, 3 games, 10 games, next game? And I'm just not sure. Again, about a minute left. You want to give me a call real quick, 707-341-6820. Again, the phone number is 707-341-6820. I'm not at a loss for words, but I'm just at a loss with this team. And it's out of care. It's out of frustration. It's out of compassion. It's out of uncomfortability. Most importantly, it's just out of overall dissatisfaction. I'm just very, very disappointed, and I'm looking at the team, and I just don't know what should happen now. You look around out there, and you just don't see a lot that's going to come about with this team. And unless some changes drastically, mildly, and in a hurry. And unless that happens, I don't know what's going to happen next. And the sad part about it is we have a lot of fans out there that are frantic, a lot of people out there that don't know what to do, looking at this team for the future. Most importantly, we just don't know what the makeup of this team is going to be going forward into the future because of the roster configuration with people signed for future years with the salary cap restrictions, and how there'll be hard cap for certain transactions to want to be made. And we hope McNair can figure out a solution. But for now, we're kind of stuck. But hey, hopefully McNair can pull us out this rut. A further conversation we'll have when we have our other hosts on with Leo, Ty, and E-Man is Luke Walton going to be done at the end of this year? I wanted to discuss that more in totality tonight, but I just said, you know what, I want to have my fellow CK family here, my fellow Cowboy Kingdom family here to discuss that in its totality, because that's something I really want to discuss. I just feel as if at the end of the day, that's something that really needs to be investigated, thoroughly thought over, and contemplated. Is Luke Walton the coach of this team? And I'm sure a lot of you guys say no. I just want to have a thorough discussion, okay? So, again, let's have that prevalent in our minds for the next show. Is Luke Walton the coach for his team, the Sacramento Kings, in the 2021-2022 NBA season and going forward in the future? Well, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you all listening in, and everyone stay tuned after the Sacramento Kings play the Phoenix Suns tomorrow in the back-to-back. See the final of that game, and most importantly, stay tuned for more Cowboy Kingdom videos, live streams, YouTube videos, Instagram lives, and any content we create. And I appreciate you guys' time. You guys have a good night. See you later.